Ah, Eric. Don't point, Eric. It's rude.
Oh. Sorry, sir. Force what happened. You wanted to see me?
Yes, I did. You know, Eric, as a deity, I have to make difficult decisions from time to time.
I can imagine, sir.
Take this chap, for example. A good father and husband, living a relatively blameless life with a few minor indiscretions. Until a few weeks ago, that is, when he suddenly felt the need to shag his neighbor senseless. Committed a deadly sin and broke at least two commandments, just like that. Just like that. I mean, I'm as forgiving as the next deity.
What did you do, sir?
He's toast.
Oh.
I know, it seems harsh, but a deadly sin and two commandments? Too far, Eric, much too far. The gentleman in question must learn that whilst I am, if nothing else, forgiving, my laws are inviolable. I've marked him down for reincarnation to give him an opportunity to repent. You're due to pick him up next Tuesday, I believe.
And, what of the neighbor, sir? The neighbor, sir, was to be her punishment.
Ah, I am pondering that very question, Eric. That very question. She is in process of divorce, so whilst she is technically guilty of committing adultery, I feel in this case the spirit rather than the letter of the law should be observed.
But she has committed a deadly sin, and in coveting broken a further commandment.
And therein lies my quandary. Has she broken a commandment? Or has she, in point of fact, merely exploited one of the many legal loopholes which currently exist?
Loopholes, sir?
The commandment that you're referring to forbids one from coveting your neighbor's wife.
Indeed, sir.
Well, then, there you are.
Sorry, sir, I'm not quite sure I follow where you're going with this.
Oh, for my sake, Eric, don't be so bloody dense. Wife, Eric, wife. Makes no mention of husband, does it?
Well, no, sir, but surely the spirit of your law...
The spirit of my law is for benign interpretation, in the interests of merciful action, Eric. It would be utterly irresponsible of me to go about willy-nilly interpreting laws on a whim. My world may be infinite, but there's no point in being draconian about these things, is there? I mean, where would it all end? Before we know it, I'd be going around calling people up over the most minor indiscretions. A paperclip stolen from work. Looking at internet pornography. Blasphemy. I mean, can you imagine the impact that would have on the appeals process?
Yes, I see what you mean, sir.
Peter is already complaining about his workload. Went down myself yesterday and popped my head round the door to the waiting room. Bloody chaos in there.
Yes, not to be rude, sir, but I do have a collection to make. It's an avarice with, and the traffic's bloody awful on a Friday.
Pause, forgive me, you don't need to listen to my problems. Deity such as myself, as I've always said, has many difficult decisions, and there can be no room for sentiment. So, let's cut to the chase. I had some consultants in the other day to look at productivity. They raised some questions about your performance, Eric.
My performance, sir?
Yes, the blue sky thinkers say that, well, your cost per cost ratio is too high. You're spending too much time on each soul, Eric. We need to learn how to streamline better. Every time I go to the annual deity conference, the pagans in the back start sniggering.
With respect, sir, I don't think you fully appreciate the realities of the job I do. I mean, it's all right for the pagans, isn't it? They've got that hot little witch with the... Well, no one minds going with her, do they? The fact is, the people I go to collect don't seem to like me very much. Say they don't like me very much is a bit of an understatement. The vast majority seem to hate me. I think I scare them.
An understandable reaction, Eric. Having you turn up out of the blue is like sharp sight in his head. That's bound to be a bit unsettling, isn't it?
Exactly, sir. My appearance is off-putting to them. They take one look at me and start screaming. Now, perhaps if we could change my image just a bit.
What we were thinking. The top team and I were having a bit of a think outside the box the other day. And I think we're pretty much agreed that your department is in need of an overhaul.
An overhaul, sir?
Yes. Starting Monday, you'll do a job swap with famine. The plague and war will be doing the same thing.
But I don't want to be famine, sir. I enjoy the job I do. I have no idea what famine does. All I know is that every time he's in the office, my workload goes through the roof.
Well, here's a chance for you to review the job. Think of it as a developmental opportunity. You'll report to Famine's office on Monday morning. I think that's all.
Oh, but sir,
There is no I in Team Eric.
I realize that, sir. But I don't think you fully appreciate what it is you're asking.
Talk to the hand, Eric, because the face ain't listening.
Coming up next on Dave, the Vicar of Dibley.
All right, come on then.
Who the bloody hell are you?
I am deaf. Temporarily, anyway. I'm normally famine, but we're doing a job swap. It's reckoning day. It's your time, sunshine.
Well, it bloody well isn't.
Says right here on this docket. Heart attack, it says.
I haven't had a heart attack. I'm having my tea and I'm about to watch a Vicar of Dibley.
Probably early. Says it's scheduled for a 9 o'clock departure. I'm early. It's only a minute to. Do you mind if I sit down? These shoes are pinching like hell. So, had a good day?
I beg your pardon.
Your day? A good one, was it?
Till about 2 minutes ago. Here, Edna love, are you listening to this? This bloke reckons he's deaf.
Does he do?
That's nice.
Is that a fry-up?
What if it is?
Oh, bad for your heart fry-ups. It hardens the arteries. It raises the cholesterol. The next thing you know, you're wondering what that tingling sensation in your left arm is. After that, it's all dark tunnels, bright lights, and heavenly choirs.
You can't talk me into having a heart attack, you know.
I'm just saying you ought to lay off all the greasy foods, that's all. Although in your case, I guess it's a bit like shutting the stable door after the hose is bolted.
Oh, look, who sent you?
I am sent by God! I am his angel of death! Temporarily, as I said.
Here, Edna, that's a good one, isn't it? Reckons he's being sent by God.
Does he, dear?
That's nice.
Listen, mate. I've had a very long day, and I would like to get home to my own supper, so do you mind if we get on with it? You're the fourth person today who's tried to wangle out of being dead, and to be honest, I'm beginning to be a bit cheesed off with it.
What happened to the other three?
I had to persuade them to come with me.
Is the time up?
Yes, that's what I've been trying to tell you!
No, I mean the minute. Is it up?
Right, yes, see what you mean. Well, the damn thing must be slow. Now will you please be quiet?
You what?
Not you, him. Oh, yes, that's right. You got all the bloody answers, haven't you? Well, if you're so bloody perfect, why don't you come do my job? No, I thought not. It's so much easier to hide behind that cloak of invisibility, isn't it? Oh, don't you walk away from me. Don't you dare walk away from me!
Who are you talking to?
Hades.
Are you dear? That's nice. Who in the name of Christ is Hades?
He rides with death. He claims his name means unseen, which is bloody convenient if you ask me. I don't even know why he has to ride with death. All he does is take you dead people down to the river, puts a noble under your tongue, and hands you over to Charon.
Hands me over to who?
Charon? The ferryman? He takes you down the river for your final journey.
Hey, Redknapp, I'm going to meet some bloke called Karen. He's going to take me down the river.
Is he, dear? What river would that be, dear?
What river did you say?
It's the Styx! The river bloody Styx! Oh, will you please be quiet?
It's a Styx, Edna. Oh, where's that then? Cumbria, is it?
No! It's in the bloody underworld, you stupid man! Jesus H. Christ! Look. It's all very simple. You are about to die.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. And when you die, I hand you over to Hades the Unseen here, who puts an opal under your tongue, gives you over to Charon, who escorts you to the pearly gates. There, you will be judged. If you've been good, you get in. If not, it's back to Charon and off to hell.
What's an oboe?
A woodwind instrument?
He's going to try and put a woodwind instrument under my tongue.
What?
You just said this invisible bloke was going to put an oboe under my tongue.
No! I didn't! I said he's going to put an opal under your tongue! An opal!
That's a relief. What's an oboe then?
Oh, for the love of God, it's a coin! You're fair!
Here, Edna, they're paying my fare.
Oh, dear. That's nice.
Just one problem.
What?
I'm not dying. I don't feel like dying. I'm not trying to wrangle out of it. I'm just not dead.
Right. Only one way to settle this. Keypad's locked.
Press menu start.
Thank you.
Oh, hell. God,
Hello, sir. It's Jeffrey. I mean, it's death.
not again. Jeffrey, how goes it?
Not well, sir. I'm trying to make a collection, and this bloke refuses to come with me.
Well,
He
of
claims it's not his time.
They all say that. What's the name?
Roger Harper, sir. He was supposed to have had a heart attack 7 minutes ago.
And he's still alive?
He's eating his tea, sir. He says he's about to watch The Vicar of Dibley. They're doing reruns on Dave.
Here we are. Harper, 73 Periwinkle Lane. Yes?
Not 37 then?
No! Not another wrong address, Jeffrey, surely. Mr. Harper is probably decomposing down the road as we speak.
I thought they weren't supposed to do that, sir.
Do what, Jeffrey?
Die. without me. I thought that was the whole point of being deaf.
Death comes to all men, Geoffrey, except it seems in this instance to Mr. Harper.
On my way.
Yes? Peter, what is it?
This job swap, sir.
Yes? What about it?
How should I put this? Not to put too fine a point on it. I don't think it's going very well.
What do you mean it's not going very well?
We have two big problems.
Tell me the worst.
Okay, the first problem is that we've got 300 souls rioting in the waiting room and refusing to come out. They've barricaded themselves in and taken 3 cherubims hostage, and they say they're not moving until you meet with them to hear their grievances.
Come on, Peter. There's always a few ingrates who say they were taken too soon. Your boys and girls should be used to it by now.
Yes, I know, sir, but that's not what they're kicking off about. It's more the manner in which they were taken.
What? The manner in which they were taken. You lost me.
Okay. The ringleader is a bloke named Colin Pertwee. You won't find him in the arrival sheets. I've already checked. I've cross-referenced his name with the database, and he wasn't due to arrive until 2032. Anyway, he and his wife came in from the supermarket this afternoon to find this dude in chinos and loafers and carrying a scythe and standing in their living room. Mr. Pertwee, thinking the bloke's a nutter,
Not too very far from the truth, as it happens.
challenges him, and at which point our chino-wearing friend decides to be rant and rave about being kept waiting, people not being where they should be, oh, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, dear. This isn't good. This isn't good at all.
It gets worse. When Mr. Pertwee refuses to shuffle off this mortal plane, our man starts swinging his scythe. 1 minute it's happy families, the next it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Only he doesn't stop with Mr. Pertwee. When the wife starts to leg it, Geoffrey gets after her. She made it as far as the front door.
Bloody hell, Peter. This is terrible.
According to Mrs. Pertwee, the last thing she heard was, "Come back here, you daft old bat. Don't make me come after you in these shoes." It's a rolling sound followed by, "Shopping? I'll give you bloody shopping. Buy one, get one free."
Dear. This is dreadful, Peter. Simply dreadful. There are thousands of people down there. Hundreds of thousands of people. Millions of people, in fact, who have come to believe that I'm actually a pretty good bloke, who can be trusted to look after them if they live their lives according to my laws. And in the case of the Pertwees, what is their first experience of me? A dyslexic young man with serious anger management issues. The only upside to this is at least the situation is confined to the waiting room.
Oh, if only.
What do you mean?
Well, they barricaded themselves into the waiting room so no one can get out.
Yes.
So if no one can get out, no one can get in either.
You mean the celestial staircase?
That's a standstill.
And the tunnel?
Worse than the Queensboro Bridge in Friday rush hour. Which brings us to our second problem.
How can things possibly get any worse?
In addition to the 300 protesters in the waiting room, there are further 2,500 people in the holding area from Belgium.
From Belgium?
Belgium? Another plague?
Another plague in Belgium?
Yes. Cows this time?
I see. Plague of cows.
Cows.
He's taking the piss, isn't he?
Oh, bloody outrage is what it is! I am a highly trained professional. My skills have developed over thousands of years. Famine is now a And now apparently any old Tom, Dick, or Harry can do it.
Any old Tom, Dick, or Harry.
Oh, yes, I forgot. Any old Tom, Dick, or Eric.
Oh, yes, Jeffrey, I'm sorry, I forgot. It takes enormous talent to chase a 60-year-old woman with bunions down the hallway and lop off her head. How remiss of me not to see the art in that.
Ha! You're one to talk. We've been at this for 3 weeks. And what have you accomplished?
For your information, I think you'll find there's a famine raging in the Sahara Desert as we speak.
The Sahara Desert. But no one lives in the Sahara Desert, Eric.
Oh, really, Penelope? Well, I think you'll find that's not the opinion of 3 Bedouins who went without breakfast this morning.
So, you've inflicted a famine on 3 people who routinely go for days without food?
And this raging famine, as you put it, has been going on for all of what? Half an hour?
All right, that's enough. Shut up, all of you. Have some decorum. We are the 4 bloody horsemen of the
Horse
apocalypse.
people.
What?
Horse people, Albert. Not all of us are horsemen.
Oh, don't start in with that bloody women's lib crap again. We can hardly be the 3 horsemen and 1 horsewoman of the bloody apocalypse. It's bloody ridiculous.
Be that as it may, Albert, we live in a world of equality, and I simply must
This
insist.
never would have happened in Algernon's time.
Oh, that's right. Let's drudge up ancient history again, shall we, Jeffrey? Algernon this, Algernon that. Would this be the same Algernon who, if I'm not much mistaken, tried to recreate the Black Plague after a nervous breakdown in his bedroom?
All right. He was mad as a hatter, I'll grant you. But at least he had style. At least he had panache. At least he understood what it meant to be a horseman of the apocalypse.
All right, enough. Enough of the bickering. The plain fact of the matter is, the situation we find ourselves in is intolerable and...
Actually, Albert, I'm quite enjoying myself. I think this is all exciting, and it's rather far-sighted of the old man to offer everyone a chance to have their perspective on the departments.
Oh, buggeration, woman! Stop bloody interrupting me! I think we're all aware of the contribution your perspective has made in the last 3 weeks.
And what exactly is that supposed to be?
I think he's referring to the current Middle East war, dear.
War? You call that a war? It's a bloody fiasco is what it is. Please, tell me, in what twisted bloody world do hardened Arab guerrillas mince about in blue bloody chiffon?
Why does something violent solves anything? How can we continually expect to improve society if we send the message that it's all right to reward violence with violence?
For God's sakes, woman, we are the 4 horsemen. All right, 4 horse people of the apocalypse. And it is our job to destroy the earth, not suffocate it in a frenzy of cardigan-wearing, tree-hugging, fake bloody swag. Job swap bollocks is ridiculous. Time we took matters into our own hands.
Just what are we proposing?
It is time, my brothers. Oh, give it a rest, Penelope. It's time, my brothers and sister, to invoke the code of sufferance and summon help.
The code of sufferance? No, surely.
We need help, Penelope.
Yes, I understand. Not at all. No, thank you for calling. Indeed, you'll hear from me in due course. Expect a messenger. Goodbye.
Well, that's a turn-up. Looks like my eternal damnation might be coming to an end.
says it's a good job that I am around to take care of things here. Whoever heard of Lucifer being allergic to a bit of smoke? Bloody ridiculous. Now, who are you on the phone to?
No one, Mummy.
It sounded like someone to me.
It wasn't, Mummy.
Do I have to dial star 69? Tell me the truth, Lucifer.
It wasn't anyone. Honest. Oh, right, all right. I was talking to Leviathan, okay?
No, young man, that is not okay. Leviathan is not a good influence. How many times do I have to tell you? I do not want you hanging around with him and his cronies. Do you have any idea what they get up to down there on level 9? Well, I can assure you, Lucifer Perkins, that you would not choose to spend time with them if you did. Now, I hope that you're not planning on doing something silly. You do remember what happened the last time you thought you could run the place? Exactly. Infested with trolls for weeks we were. No, you just stay here and look important and leave the day-to-day things to me.
But it's boring. I would spread some evil.
Now you listen to me, my boy. If there's any spreading of evil to be done, I will be the one doing it. You just stay out of the way. Now, I need you to go and take the rubbish out. Stop right there, young man. Where are your cloven hoofs and your pointy tail with the arrow thingy on the end?
On the hook over there?
Well, they're not much use there, are they? What if you had to go out suddenly? What would people say? The Lord of Hell walking around tailless and in sandals.
Something on fast.
And what if you didn't have time? What if there were a fire or something?
You might not have noticed, Mum, but that whole place is on fire. All the time. Why do you think there comes a Pete Rush?
It's important to have the right image, Louis. The hooves and the tail and the horns and the red suit, they ooze evil. They demand respect. The sweater vest does not ooze evil, Louis. And it does not demand respect. It demands that your head is going to get kicked in the minute you walk out of the front door. People laugh.
Mum, I speak through a loud healer. I'm betting people already laugh.
A grown man in a sweater vest speaking through a loudhailer would certainly be a figure of fun, but add in the red suit and the scary accessories, and the loudhailer becomes the charming affectation of an evil genius. And the whole package turns you from an introverted, dull, fashion victim into an intriguing and dangerous man of mystery.
Dangerous man of what?
The suit hints at the promise of a finely toned, muscular body rippling beneath the soft velvet. Animal passion, pulsating and beating and burning with a life of its own, given oxygen by the quiet, brooding confidence of the man. A flash of the predator glimpsed as he prowls your heart, prodding, probing, all the time assailing your womanhood, until finally he takes you roughly in his arms, rips the clothes from your Yes, anyway, the point is that nobody in a sweater vest is ever going to rip the clothes from my body. So I hope you see now how important the whole evil genius ensemble is. Now, take out the rubbish. Sheesh.
cherubim.
You've got goblin ears.
Oh, hey, it was an accident of birth, you know. People keep mistaking me for a goblin, you know, easy mistake to make. Look, I've got wings and everything.
These are your wings?
Yep, lovely, aren't they? Lovely silver cherubim wings. Look, aren't they lovely? See, lovely, big, soft, silver angel wings.
They're not real?
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. They've been stuck on with Velcro.
Oh, wait, did I say cherubim? I meant seraphim.
A seraphim with false wings?
Yeah. Well, you know, I lost the original pair.
You lost the original pair?
Yeah, I lost them. Yeah, I lost them oh, yeah, that's right. I lost my original silver soft seraphim wings in the pub.
You lost the original pair in a pub?
Oh yeah, got completely trolling one night, lost them. You know? One moment they were there, next moment, poof, gone.
Disappeared.
Yeah.
So you just made another set and stuck them on with Velcro?
Yeah.
So flying must be a tad difficult then?
Oh, a bit, yeah.
You wouldn't care to demonstrate for me, I suppose?
Well, no, not really, no.
Isn't it really the truth that you are, in point of fact, a goblin from Satan's secret service, sent by him to facilitate an uprising in heaven, that you arrived here in a frankly ludicrous costume, in the vague hope of entering heaven unseen, that these are obviously made out of cardboard and tinfoil, and bear no resemblance to real angel wings, and that you are pathetically incompetent?
All right. It's all true. But please don't tell anyone. I've only just graduated from the Underworld University of Spying. I'm trying to make a good impression. It'll kill me if they find out I screwed up. My name's Frank, by the way. What was it that gave me away?
Well, the wings would have had something to do with it.
Not realistic?
It's about as realistic as a set of Lake 7. What did you graduate in?
Well, I majored in hiding under chairs.
Hiding under chairs?
Oh, yeah, I'm brilliant at it. Look, you go out, I'll hide, you see if you can find me. Go.
Yes, I was trying not to hurt your feelings.
Well, that was very kind of you, but I really need to prove that I can do it. If we could just...
Try it again?
Yeah,
No.
just once.
No.
Why not?
Because I'm running out of patience and you are running out of chairs. Who did you come here to meet?
Oh, I can't tell you that. Sworn to secrecy. Rather die than betray my mission.
That can be arranged. Look, let's face it, Frank. Your spine wasn't actually good at spine, and before we go through that chair routine again, and I do mean that literally, you won't last 15 minutes wandering around heaven in that getup. So you can either tell me who you came here to meet, or I'll turn you over to security. You have 10 seconds to make up your mind.
Okay. I came to meet with 3 of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
There are only 3 horsemen of the apocalypse? Look, it's not important. Well, it is, but not right now. So you came here to meet with war, death, and famine?
Yeah, apparently the 4th horseman.
Horse person?
Yeah, well, anyway, the 4th horseman, and just between you and me, this plague's kind of a goody-goody. You know, real high and mighty. You know, War says what this death thinks is a damn good foot.
Yes, well, I don't think I need to hear any more, thank you. Pathetically incompetent, though you undoubtedly are, Franck, I think there may be a way in which you can save your skin.
Really?
Yes. Come with me, you can tell me all about your plan.
You never told me all that.
How very remiss of me. My name is Plague, and apparently, I need a damn good fuck.
She's not here.
Bloody hell! I can't!
Shut up, for God's sake.
What do we do now?
Wait for the messenger. They sent the best agent, a man named Frank. Apparently very good at hiding.
Mr. Pertwee! Mr. Pertwee, please calm down. Yes, I understand that you're not very happy about being dead. Yes, I'm sure Mrs. Pertwee is distressed by the experience, but that's no excuse for stabbing one of my seraphim with a shoe. Now is it? Mr. Pertwee, please put that pop down. Mr. Pertwee, I'm warning you, if you throw that hop, you're going to be in very big trouble now. Mr. Pertwee, I will not tell you again. What? Yes, well, from your perspective, I suppose there is no bigger trouble than being dead. But really, there's nothing I can do about that now, I'm afraid. Mr. Pertwee, I absolutely forbid you to throw that person at me! Guards, would you please seek some medical help for Mother Teresa? And could one of you fetch her sandal for me? Thank you. Mr. Pertwee, please desist from throwing things at me. No, Mr. Pertwee, I'm afraid I can't resurrect you and Mrs. Pertwee. Well, listen, if it was that easy, don't you think I'd have done it for my own son already? And quite apart from that, you've been gone for quite some time now. Yes, your mutilated bodies have already been cremated. I'm sorry, Mrs. Pertwee. Yes. You're right, that was insensitive of me. Mrs. Pertwee, please stop screaming. I've said I'm sorry. Anyway, even if I could send you back, your sudden reappearance on Earth would cause all sorts of problems. Look, let me make some calls, okay? Let's see if we can't get this mess sorted out. Come. Oh, Peter, come in, come in. I'm afraid you caught me at a rather difficult time.
Jeffrey?
Another case of mistaken identity. That makes 431 this last week. What brings you here?
I thought you might be interested in the latest from the Department of the Apocalypse.
He should have been here hours ago.
Well, maybe he got held up. Celestial Staircase has been on variable speed limit ever since that riot the other day.
I highly doubt it leads in a staircase, Albert. I can hardly imagine an agent of Satan walking right through God's front door, however well disguised he may be.
Well, how else is he bloody well going to get in?
Well, I don't know, now do I? All I'm saying is it would be an unnecessary risk. Now, if it were me, I'd be looking to sneak in through the back way.
Have you ever been to the back of heaven, Jeffrey?
No.
I took Sally Childers to the back of heaven.
Yes, sir. Don't think we need to hear the end of that part, do we? The point is, Jeffrey, that what's inside, heaven is infinite. There is no back door. The only way in is through the gates.
So what you're saying is that this Frank fellow has to get past St. Peter, all the guards, and the little bloke at the kiosk who stamps your ticket.
Exactly. We'll just have to trust that all that ruckus before will be enough for him to escape through unseen.
Nobody gets past Shorthouse at the kiosk. Nothing gets past that bloody Jobsworth.
Frank is very good at hiding, remember? We'll just have to trust that he's invented enough to elude security. That'll be him now. There you are!
Cleaner.
Brilliant, brilliant!
Begging your pardon, sir?
You're just in time, man. There's not a moment to lose.
Well, I was told it was an urgent matter, sir. You might come in.
Oh, of course, of course.
Where do I start?
Now, I know it's not the done thing, and time is of the essence, but I was wondering if you could show us how you do it.
Do it, sir?
Yes! I've always wanted to know. Your skill is so very specialized, you see. Not many people can do what you do.
Well, that's what I keep telling my supervisor, sir. Mr. Glanville, I say to him, Mr. Glanville, you is very lucky to have me, I say.
Satan. So then, will you show us?
Of course I will. It'll be a pleasure. And that's the truth. The secret is in the grit, they say. Most folk, they hold it too far down the shaft. That's okay for short work in the corners and the like. But for the good, long, even stroke, you need to be holding it at the top of the hand. All about control and distance this game. So, rather than take the underhand grip, I always prefer the overhand knife. More control that way. And then, it's about rhythm. Away and back.
What the bloody hell's he going on about?
Of course, that's it. That's what. He's staying in character until he can be sure we're kosher. We are death, famine, and war. We've been expecting you.
I should hope he was, sir. The requisition went into my box less than an hour ago. I was told it was urgent.
Indeed it is. Now, please, could you show us how you do it?
I just have, sir. Oh,
No, not that! Hiding.
Heidi.
Yes, we want to see you hide.
You want to see me hide? Very well, sir.
Are you sure?
Absolutely inspired!
Sometimes you can surprise yourself with skills you didn't even know you had, can't you?
That's a good soul. Now, what do you need from us?
Nothing really, sir. I like to work alone if it's all the same to you. Just if you make yourself scarce and let me get on. I won't be getting under your feet if you hang around here.
Yes, we'll get out of your way then.
So, what you're saying is that the Department of the Apocalypse is in cahoots with Satan, and they've sent an agent to overthrow me?
The Department of the Apocalypse didn't send him, Mr. Richards. I can call you Mr. Richards, can't I? Oh no, he was sent by Satan himself.
Wait a minute. And who exactly, may I ask, is this Mr. Richards?
That would be me.
What?
Me. My name. Before I changed it to God. Arthur Richards.
You've always been God, haven't you? In your biography, it says this bit quite clearly. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. What it doesn't say is in the beginning, Arthur Richards created the heavens and the earth, because I'm pretty sure I would have remembered something like that.
Yes, well, a bit of journalistic frippery, I'm afraid. You see, Peter, well, for one thing, in the beginning, Arthur Richards created the heavens and the earth. Well, they just lacked that ring of omnipotence that I was looking for. And also, if we're being strict about it, I suppose the first line isn't really all that accurate either.
What do you mean it's not all that accurate?
Peter, it's like this. In the beginning, actually, the heavens and the earth were created by my great-aunt Gertie. But you see, as far as anybody else knew, she just sat in the corner, knitting sweater after endless sweater, making unfeasibly large quantities of preserves, and dribbling down her cardigan. But heaven's never been awash with modern thinkers, has it? The notion that a woman, well, can you imagine?
You're saying that she was God. You're saying your great aunt created the heavens and the earth.
Indeed.
Auntie Gertie persuaded young Arthur here to be the public front of her little charade. As far as anyone could see, he was the big cheese, while all the time it was a little old lady smelling a wee who was the brains of the outfit.
Exactly. And, well, when she retired, went mad, really. I couldn't come clean at that point. I had some superpowers, nothing like Gertie's, of course, and, well, I just sort of fell into being the proper God.
Well, Arthur, I'm very disappointed. How could you possibly expect expect me to provide adequate security for you if you keep these things from me?
I'm sorry, Peter. Really I am, but you couldn't know. You understand, don't you? It would have put both of us into grave danger. If ever they found out, well, you would have gone down with me. You would have lost your job, your sainthood, everything. It was too much to risk. Too much to ask. I just had to carry that burden alone. Nobody else knew. It just seemed better for everyone if I just carried on.
Except, someone did know the truth. Does know, in fact. Isn't that right, Arthur?
Yes, there is one other person, Penelope, but I hardly think they're in a position to use that information against me.
Not yet, but they might be soon.
Excuse me?
Someone with rather a lot to gain by making sure became common knowledge around here.
Excuse me?
Someone who might just be a little hard done by and
Shut up! Thank you. Now, would someone please tell me what in the heaven's name is going on?
What's going on is that someone does know Arthur's dirty little secret.
Who?
Satan. Satan knows you're not really God after all. Satan was the chosen one, wasn't he, Arthur? An archangel, no less. You were like a father to him, weren't you, Arthur? That made his betrayal of you all the more painful. He knows you're not really God. He knows everything.
What do you mean I'm not really God?
You're not really God.
Listen, he may not have created the heavens and the earth, but he did create man and woman.
No, he didn't.
I really think you ought to be quiet now, Penelope.
You didn't create man. That was your cousin Fanny.
You didn't create man either!
No, not as such.
Not as such. I see. What about the birds?
No.
Fishes?
Uh-uh.
Beasts?
Nope.
The seas!
Sorry.
Did you actually create anything at all?
Wasps.
I see. You were suddenly blessed with infinite powers, and you decided to create wasps. Can I ask why?
Look, I'm not proud of it, okay? But by the time I finally got to become God, there was nothing left to do. Everything was ticking along nicely.
And the one person who knows your dirty little secret is the very person who can do you the most harm. If he manages to spread word inside heaven, then old Arthur here can kiss goodbye to the big chair. After that, it's only a matter of time before news leaks onto Earth, and bang. Goodbye Christianity, hello pointy hats, and vaguely erotic ritual sacrifices.
I can't lose my job. What else would I do? I've always been God. Oh, bloody hell, all right, I haven't always been God, but I've been doing it long enough that I don't have anything else to fall back on. My son will be okay, I suppose. He can always go back into carpentry. Me, I'm finished. Alright, here's the thing. As your divine Lord, I am commanding you to come up with a plan to save my ass. Is that clear? No more managing security. No more infesting the world. No. Number one priority on everybody's list, saving God's ass. Are we clear?
And that will come at a price, Arthur.
Blackmail, Penelope. I really don't think so.
But we could see him before.
That's because he wanted us to see him, you pillock.
Why would he want us to see him?
Well, how else would we know that he had arrived?
Has anyone seen Penelope? Neither have I. Isn't that a bit odd?
Oh, she's bloody odd.
Well, yes, I know, but normally we see her in here every day. But ever since that row the other day, none of us have seen her. And this morning, she was spotted going into God's office.
What are you suggesting?
Look at it this way. She was happy with that job swap nonsense. And she wasn't exactly overjoyed when we took matters into our own hands. And suddenly she's just disappeared? Now what does that suggest to you?
That she's gone native. In the name of all that's unholy, Jeffrey. You might be right.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Are you really suggesting she's now working against us?
Yes, Eric, don't you see? Look at the evidence. Can you remember the last war she created? Exactly. And then there's all that sex equality crap she keeps banging on about. I'm telling you, she's betraying us. That bloody woman has to be stopped.
What bloody woman would that be? Albert?
Oh, Penelope. Yes, Penelope. Jeffrey?
Oh, well, you see, Penelope, all of us were just, we were all just wondering if, Eric.
Oh, for God's sake. Honestly, Penelope, we were wondering if you'd gone and ratted us out.
Ratted you out? About what?
You weren't exactly happy about the uprising, now were you?
Ah, yes, the uprising. How's that going, by the way? Look, I didn't turn you in, okay?
Whom are you seen going into God's office?
Well, if you must know, I went to reason with him. I asked him to rethink this job swap business.
But why? You seemed quite happy with the arrangement. Thought it was refreshing. Thought it was very far-sighted of the old man.
And I still do, but the rest of you don't. So on behalf of the team, I asked him to consider reverting to how it was before.
And what did he say?
He said no. It told me if and when I became God, I could run heaven any way I chose, but until then, he was the boss. To be honest, I think he's gone a bit doolally. Started quoting Henry V's soliloquy at me. Said it was a metaphor for an effective business model. And we were all naysayers in his attempt to take Harfleur.
Harfleur.
Yes. He thinks of anywhere remotely un-Christian as his own personal Harfleur.
Personally, I think he's been spending a little too much time with Shakespeare recently.
Never mind all this artsy-fartsy nonsense. I'm still not sure about Little Miss Equal Rights for bloody women here.
Listen, Albert, I'll do you a deal. You tell me where you're at with your plan, and to prove I'm on your side, I'll deliver you with information which might help.
Information? What sort of information?
Look, God trusts me, right? So if you're going to be successful with this caper...
Caper? It's not the bloody Italian job, love.
If you're going to be successful, then you're going to need information, which you don't have and can't get.
Why can't we get it? What makes you so special?
You can't get it, Eric, because you all kicked up such a fuss about this job swap business, God wouldn't tell you the way to the toilet, let alone sensitive security information.
What sort of sensitive security information?
You want to overthrow God and put Satan in his place, right? You'll need to know where the cherubim and seraphim guards are stationed, wouldn't you? You need to know what sort of contingency plans are in place to make sure God is safe from harm. You need to know exactly where he's going to be at any given time.
And you can get this information, can you?
Let's just say I can put you together with someone who can help you. And I will, as soon as you tell me where you're at with your plan.
All right. We invoked the code, as you know. Satan sent his best agent, a man named Frank, came disguised as a cleaner.
A cleaner? What did he look like?
Oh, shortish.
Quite elderly.
Smelled of bleach.
Yes, we met him here in the common room.
He was very impressive.
now he's disappeared.
Disappeared?
Vanished. Mind you, he's a master at the art of hiding. So he could be anywhere.
So there's an elderly agent by the name of Frank who smells faintly of bleach and is dressed as
A cleaner.
a cleaner. Now, presumably loose in heaven, armed only with a mop and bucket, and in hiding, plotting to overthrow the most powerful entity known to man.
I think that about sums it up, yes.
Right. I believe I'm on the point of spotting the flaw in this plan. But still, so, what might his plan be, perhaps?
We don't know. He didn't go into any details. He just told us to let him get on with it. He said that he works better alone and that we'd be only getting underfoot if we hung around. But by the time we returned, he vanished.
Somehow an aging cleaner exuding an aroma of household chemicals isn't quite exactly what springs to mind when you come to speculate the many and varied ways in which Beelzebub might wreak his particular brand of carnage. Still, so we have no idea where he is or what his plan might be.
We're waiting to hear back from Satan.
When will that be?
We don't know. Said he'd call when he was ready.
Okay, so we'll wait for him to get in touch. Gosh, it's all rather exciting.
So let me get this right. You sent Frank. And who the hell is Frank? Just at a university, you see. I see. No, Leviathan. I did not tell you to send Frank. I said to send Frank. Well, did it not occur to you when I said that he was the best agent that we had, that I might not have met somebody just out of university? You distinctly didn't hear me say Frank. I said Frank. Did. Oh, it doesn't matter. Just get Frank up there before Frank tries to do something stupid. You must have someone available. Bloody hell, I'll do it myself. I'll deal with you later, Leviathan.
Typical. Flipping typical. I'm on the brink of my greatest moment, and that idiot has to send in a demented goblin to prepare a statue. His life depended on it. Still time to save matters. Time to go in and do it myself. Just need a good disguise.
And where are you going, young man?
Out.
Out? Out where?
Just out. I can go out, can't I? I mean, I'm not a prisoner in my own kingdom, am I? Last I knew, I was still the Lord of Hell. And that means that if I want to go out, then I can jolly well flip and go out when I want.
Well, Louis, that all depends on where it is you're thinking of going.
I was going to go and see some friends.
You haven't got any friends, Lucifer. A part of the deal of being the Lord of Hell is that pretty much everyone who lives here hates you. Oh, I'm sorry, but being an evil genius is a lonely job.
I have got friends.
Name one. Well, I think we've established that you're a little low on the friends front. So, where were you going?
For a walk.
Oh, for a walk then. Not to heaven. Not to try to overthrow God in another one of your insane plans. Oh yes, Lucifer, I know all about your little scheme. And let me tell you, young man, that you take one step outside that door and you will be grounded for a whole month. Do I make myself clear?
Who told you?
Doesn't matter.
unpleasant people it's been my misfortune to encounter traipsing past my door as I should have been through a blimmin' loudhailer. That loudhailer, I ask you. And the one time that I tried to climb the greasy pole back to where I should have been all along, you want to stop me.
I am just trying to protect you.
Protect me! Protect me? You never let me out of my flippin' office! I have absolutely no respect around here. None. I went out yesterday for the first time in a week. And do you know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. Genghis bloody Khan gave me a wedgie. That's what bloody well happened. No! Enough is enough, mother. It is time that I reclaim my rightful place, and I will not be denied.
Do you hear me, Mother? I am rebelling! I am making a stand!
Put the loudhailer down, Lucifer. You're embarrassing yourself.
I'm embarrassing myself. Excuse me! Here I thought the stick-on pointy tail was the problem. But you've shown me the error in my ways. Now I can see that wearing two horns stuck onto a headband with scotch tape would be all the rage on the married catwalks. Frankly, I'm surprised that Harvest Bazaar aren't banging down my door, demanding an interview.
All right, that is enough.
You're right, it is, and it stops right now. Don't get in my way, Mother. I'm not asking you to help me. I'm giving you a choice. You can either step aside and let me pass, or I shall call the guards and have you detained on level 6, which, to remind you, is where Saddam Hussein and Slobodan Milosevic are singing a never-ending duet of the Jive Bunny hits.
You wouldn't do that to your own mother.
No more Mr. Nice Guy, Mother. Make your choice.
Oh.
Jesus. What a dump. Infinity Associates. Creative solutions for creative people. Quantitative study into the Department of the Apocalypse. Overview, productivity, time and motion study, recommendations. A job swap? The best they could come up with was a job swap.
Oh, would you two shut up? For the last time, Jeffrey, you're not having the bloody cloak, okay?
But I don't see why not. You're just being deliberately difficult about it.
And you're being a pain in the arse about it. Every 5 minutes it's, hey, can I have the cloak? I want the cloak, eh? Please let me have the cloak, eh? It's driving me bloody mad.
But I want to wear the clothes. I feel ridiculous in these clothes. If I'm going to do this job, I want to look the part. Give me one good reason why I can't wear the cloak, and I'll shut up about it, okay?
You can't have the cloak, because it's my cloak, okay? The thought of sharing my cloak with you is as abhorrent to me as sharing my underpants. Now, I don't know what your level of personal hygiene is like, Jeffrey, but let's just say that the smell of soap is not one I generally associate with being in your company. Satisfied?
Are you saying I smell?
Always see the negative side of everything. You're a compatibility sort of bloke, you are. A mood mover. That's what I hate about you, Jeffrey, this constant negativity. At what point in this conversation did you hear me say, I think you smell?
You said that you don't equate the smell of soap with me. That's saying that I smell as far as I'm concerned.
smell. It's a neutral position. Neither fragrant nor smelly. In my opinion, is neither positive nor negative. You have no one to speak of. There is, if you prefer, a lack of odor about you, Jeffrey.
You implied I have BO!
That's not what I implied, it's what you inferred. And you're not having a bloody cloak, so just leave it.
Who the fuck are you?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. War, famine, death, I presume. Do I detect a difference of opinion between you two?
Eric won't let me borrow his cloak. He says I have BO.
For God's sakes, I did not say you had BO. You just hear what it suits you to hear.
Oh, would you two shut up about that bloody bastard cloak? Because if you don't, I'm going to start my own little war right here in this room. I'm a little more concerned about the throwback to the 1970s. What's he doing in here?
Yes! Who are you and what do you want?
I am the one you summoned.
What's with the bloody megaphone?
I have answered your call. On the flaming backs of wild horses have I ridden to your aid, and here shall I deliver your souls from their torture.
All right, mate, we're not deaf. Put the bloody megaphone down. Lots of frogs. So, you say we've called out somebody recently. Have we done that? Right. Wait a minute. Are you from IT? Because if you are, I reported that bloody computer as faulty 3 days ago. And your service level agreement clearly states that you will respond to a call out within 24 hours. Rolling up when you bloody well feel like it might be okay down there in Johnny-come-lately geek world, but up here, we take some pride in punctuality.
I am the most perfect, the most wise, the most knowledgeable.
Definitely not from IT, then.
He looks like he's from IT. He's wearing a sweater vest and sandals.
I think I know who he is.
Really?
You're Mr. Glanville, aren't you?
Mr. Glanville?
Yes, Mr. Glanville. It is you, isn't it? We've already met Frank.
Frank's here.
Yes, he arrived yesterday.
What did he look like? I was told that he wasn't able to come.
Short, dumpy, old, stank of bleach is disguised as a cleaner.
Scaly body.
Well, suppose it's fair to say he had some epidermal issues, I suppose. Flaky skin, particularly around the mouth. I thought that was mashed potatoes. I wouldn't say it was scaly, though, no.
Large, pointy ears.
Well, I suppose it's fair to say they were a bit dangly. Wouldn't you say so, Albert?
Bulbous.
Yes, bulbous. And the lobes were a bit red.
He was short and dumpy, you said.
Like a firebug.
Only, you see, Frank is about 5.5 feet tall and built like a brick shithouse. His whole body is scaled and his ears are a foot long. If you'd seen him, you'd know it.
So what you're saying is, that the Frank that we met wasn't really Frank! The Frank!
Did he tell you that his name was Frank?
No, he started banging on about Mr. Glanville.
Mr. Glanville?
His supervisor. We just presumed he was, keeping up the act. He even showed us how he mopped the floors.
Look, I'm sorry, but the person that you met wasn't Frank. What in the name of all that's unholy made you think he was?
He didn't just show us how he mopped the floors. He also demonstrated for us. He's hiding!
Yes, and if he wasn't Frank, who the bloody hell was
He was dressed as a cleaner, you said.
Yes, maintenance coat, flat cap, mop buckets, the work.
So he looks like a cleaner, smells like a cleaner, and acts like a cleaner. Pardon me for me to state the obvious, but don't you think there's a good chance he is a cleaner? I mean, I know it's a bit of a leap, but all the evidence is there, wouldn't you say?
And how did you know this? You run into a lot of information agents and technology down in hell?
I don't work in IT. I'm more a below-stairs sort of bloke.
You're in marketing?
Put that down.
Oh God, he's an accountant.
Lower!
There's nothing
from what little I know from what I've heard about him, he definitely doesn't speak through a loud hearer.
Right! Every time it's the same. Every bloody time! Just because I don't fit the popular stereotypes, people just assume I'm not who I say I am. Oh, is it too much for you to be taken seriously? Wait here!
In this conversation, Jeffrey, I shall lead you to the many varied and hitherto unknown ways in which this pen can be used as an instrument of torture.
Could I please just try it on?
Right, where's my gun? Yes, I am, Eric. Yes, I am.
How did you find your gun?
I am going to put a bullet in your brain.
Albert.
Ah, here we go.
Oh.
Yes.
No.
I am going to shoot you and put you out.
That's not funny!
Of my misery.
I'm not laughing!
And then I'm going to shoot you again just for the pure pleasure of it.
Satisfied! Satisfied now!
Master!
And not for bloody time.
Wait a minute. He's still wearing sandals.
Yes, I forgot to pack my clothing hose. I don't suppose any of you have an extra pair lying around at size 8? No matter. No doubt I will be able to improvise. Left in a bit of a hurry, you see.
Yes, obviously. And, you can explain this, I'm sure.
Not in a way that's going to help this. Look, everything's about image these days. Just because I don't actually have a tail and horns doesn't mean I'm not abominably evil. Look, there are people in hell who aren't very happy about me being here. People who think that I am doomed to fail in my ambition to overthrow God. People who feel that failure will bring the full fury of creation down upon our shadowy worlds. Those dark forces will stop at nothing to keep me from achieving my goals.
Dark forces? I thought he was the bloody dark force. How many dark forces can be down there, for God's sake?
Now, what's the plan? Pardon? The plan? What is it? How are we going to install ourselves as the new leaders of heaven and lead the masses from the light to the dark? I can't tell you how excited I am to hear what you have up your sleeves. I've been waiting for this moment for hundreds of years. As I arrived, I must tell you, I couldn't help but notice how clear the air is up here. After so many years of the fire, I'd forgotten how invigorating oxygen can be. So, tell me about the scheme.
Scheme? What are you talking about? We don't have a scheme. We've been waiting for
So, let me see if I can sum this up a bit. What we have is the germ of an idea for the most audacious coup in the history of mankind, but no idea how to pull it off. Satan here, whom we not unreasonably assumed would have some sort of foolproof, off-the-shelf master plan, honed to evil perfection over centuries, turns out to not only be a man in a sweater vest and the most ridiculous evil costume it's possible to imagine, but also, it seems, does not have two brain cells to rub together. On top of that, we are now harboring the most wanted man in Christendom. Have I missed anything? What a dog's breakfast.
Hello? What's going on here?
You must be Clay. Satan, pleased to meet you.
You turned up then.
I wouldn't get overly excited, Penelope. And there's his footwear.
Sandals.
Yes, as I was just explaining, there was an unfortunate oversight on the packing front.
Yes, and there's been an unfortunate oversight in the planning front insofar as he doesn't have one. He's been twiddling his thumbs for the last 2,000 years, and he hasn't come up with a sausage.
Do I have a personal hygiene problem, Penelope? Only Eric's saying I have BO.
I should have let you shoot.
Who's the pixie standing behind you?
I assume the big fellow is one of my agents from.
There's no one beyond him.
Oh, I can see you.
No, you can't.
There's no reason to be alarmed from.
How do you know the name of whoever it is that isn't behind play?
Young man, you are here at my bidding. Of course I know your name. I also know that you graduated from Hobgoblin University with an honors in hiding. Now, come out here so I can shake you by the hand.
Can't do that because I'm not actually here.
Not only can I see you, I can also hear you.
As the voice of lunacy inside your evil head speaking to you, the person behind plague is just a figment of your twisted imagination, a mirage concocted by your demonic subconscious. You think you can see me when I'm not actually here, because the demons are under your control want you to think you can see me. But actually, the real frog is at home, working on a dissertation. So, I don't know who you think you're talking to, strange man in a red suit and sandals, but it's not me.
So we need to come up with a plan, then.
Actually, Penelope, I think there's a more pressing matter at hand. The place is awash with seraphim guards. And this common room starting to look like a scene out of America's Most Wanted. Now, granted, the chance of either of these two actually coming up with the crime to commit is looking slimmer and slimmer. Still, I'm not sure how confident I'd be in dodging a treason conviction on the basis that it never occurred to me that Satan might be an imbecile.
You're right, Eric. We need to get you hidden away somewhere safe until we can work out what to do next. We can't run the risk of you being caught by the guards.
What do you suggest?
I think I've got somewhere. The redemption room. That room hasn't been used in years. No one goes in there these days. It's got a couch, a small kitchenette. You'll be quite comfortable there for the next day or so.
Great. Oh, you wouldn't happen to have a pair of cloven hooves in a size 8, would you? Only to tell you the truth, these sandals really don't go with the scary suit.
Do I strike you as someone whose wardrobe might feature cloven hooves? If they're not in the Chibi Chew range, I don't have them. Now, I don't have cloven hooves, but I do have something that'll go with that suit. They're about a 6.5, so it might be a bit of a squeeze. But they just might do. Come with me. Franck, you too.
I'm not here.
Dinosaurs.
No.
Trees.
No.
Television.
Baird.
But you created Baird, right?
No.
Yes, you did. He was only born about 100 or so years ago.
Technically, I suppose, Baird was created on my watch, but the problem with men and women, Miss Maloney,
Call me Jules.
the problem with men and women, Jules, is that the actual creation of them was Gertie's idea. Really, anyone who came after Adam and Eve is just the result of a very clever, self-sustaining production line, if you think about it. I really can't take credit for that. exactly an honest assessment, though, is it?
Oh, honest, schmonest, Artie. Listen, I have to tell you how it is here. The only bullet we have in the breach is wasps, and nobody likes wasps, Artie. Nobody. Nasty, vindictive little bastards that serve no higher purpose whatsoever. Wasps are like little winged hoodies. They spend their time buzzing around, getting pissed on your beer or your cider when you're not looking, and then they go looking for a fight. The only thing missing from a wasp life is an open kebab shop at 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning. No, we can't make wasps work for us, Artie. We just can't. Now, if it had been bees, that would have been different. I could have worked with bees. Everybody likes honey, and if they don't, they like the concept of honey. And bees represent the good, honest values of the righteous working man. We could have created a whole charm offensive around bees. But you didn't create bees, did you? No. You created wasps. There's nothing charming about wasps, so now we need to find something else to put your name to.
I'm not going to lie, Jules. I absolutely will not lie just to save my own skin. It goes against everything I stand for. I can't go around casting people into eternal damnation for lying just because I find myself in a slightly tricky situation.
I'm not asking you to lie, Artie. Who said anything about lying? Please. Down in comms, the recommended strategy for this sort of thing is to focus on the positives. You of all people know that the world is not created in black and white. There's this gray area where you can find all sorts of useful things. And television is in that gray area, Artie, along with things like camcorders, motor cars, airplanes, refrigerators, microwave ovens, electricity, disposable...
Intercontinental ballistic missiles, IEDs, cigarettes, heroin, abortion.
Not exactly in the spirit, Pete, but good on you for pitching in. Listen, police said soon as cemented as far as those things are concerned, but the point I'm trying to make here is that if we can somehow link the good things to Artie, then we're home and dry.
Yes, but it doesn't feel right to me, Jules. All of those things, the good and the bad, were all invented or created as a result of man's free will.
No, it was your will, Artie, your will. Without your guidance, they'd still be a bunch of no-good bums carving pictures of naked women on the cave walls and hitting dumb animals over the head with clubs.
Looking at the way things are going on out there, that might not be such a bad thing.
That is defeatist talk, Pete. We need to cowboy up here and get ourselves back in the game. If it makes you feel any better, Artie, we'll play it in such a way that will show a link between you and the good things on Earth without actually saying that you created them. Yeah? Right. The marketers call it the halo effect. Pretty apt if you think about it, right?
The halo effect?
Yeah, it's got something to do with vertical product integration. Now, if you want chapter and verse, you're going to have to get Bob up here to talk to you about it, but the way I understand it is this. Say you're making, I don't know, breakfast cereal, right?
Breakfast cereal. Okay, like cornflakes.
Yeah, whatever. So, we're making breakfast cereal. We've got one type, like cornflakes, that's doing really well, and another type, like a muesli, that's not really shifting. What most companies might do is launch a big advertising campaign for the muesli, but the marketers tell you that's not the way to go. What they'll tell you is that the success of your cornflakes means that consumers already like and trust your brand, and that is what you should play on. Their theory is that you should market the hell out of your cornflakes, pardon my French, and make sure that your brand is neon lit when you do it. That is a marketing term, Artie. This way, the consumers buy your brand and not your product. In this instance, when you market the cornflakes under your brand, people are more likely to see the muesli, clock the fact that it's made by the same company as their cornflakes, and give it a go.
But if you like cornflakes, and there are cornflakes on the shelf, won't you just buy the cornflakes?
I don't know, Artie. I'm not a marketeer. I don't even know what those guys are talking about half the time, but I think as far as theories go, this could really work for you. We can sell mankind the televisions and the cars and the microwave ovens and the...
Intercontinental ballistic missiles.
And they buy the fact that God is one of the good guys. They'll overlook the fact that you didn't create them, or the birds, or the bees, or the fishes, because you gave them a Maserati, deal or no deal, and the ability to cook under 5 minutes.
I think I'd like to be remembered for more than that, Jules. It's quite depressing to think that in 2 millennia, my only contribution to the moral fortitude of the human race has been lowest common denominator television, CO2 emissions, and radiation.
The way things are looking right now, your legacy could prove to be a whole lot more depressing than that. Listen, we need to take a proactive approach here. We need to control this story. PR is an ugly business, Artie.
I really would appreciate it if you'd stop calling me Artie, Jules.
Public relations is a dog-eat-dog business. There are no Queensberry rules here. There is no off to you, madam. No. When we fight ugly, and we get our retaliation in first. My job is to keep you in that chair right now if I can, but I need you on side here. And if you don't want to take my advice, that's fine, but my advice is what you pay me for, and if you choose to handle this differently, I won't become part of your collateral damage.
So, this is really about self-preservation, isn't it? It's about you distancing yourself from the fallout.
No, it is about your preservation. Listen, the Department of the Apocalypse is staring at a whole basket load of your dirty laundry. What they do next is anybody's guess, but we have to assume they're going to use it against you in some way. We just need a story to tell if that happens. That's all I'm saying. And in the meantime, you need to pour some oil on the troubled waters.
And how do I do that?
Get them in here. Listen to them. Try to hear their point of view. Make them feel like they're a part of the process. Like they've got some sort of stake in their own professional lives. If you can get them to cool their jets, this just might go away. And if you can't, then we've got some ammo to use against them.
And can't I just damn them or something? Cast them into hell?
Just think about it, okay?
Okay.
And don't take too long. I'm going to go write a comms plan, so we're ready to go when you greenlight it.
Is he gonna come out?
Who?
The goblin. He's been under there for bloody hours.
He's a goblin, Albert, not a pixie. And you're not supposed to be able to see him.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Penelope. Stevie Bloody Wonder can see him.
So,
It's done. We have an appointment tomorrow at 10. As far as he's concerned, it's a debriefing on the departmental job swap. I'm seeing him privately for a few minutes before that to run through my concerns about the move. So he'll be out of the office for a bit. All you have to do is get Franck into the office and hidden away.
Very good, Penelope. I can see one teeny potential flaw in the plan, though.
What's that, Eric?
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, it's the get front hidden away part. Now, I don't wish to be a negative, but an elephant walking down Pall Mall going dripping of the colors would have a better chance of going undetected than the goblin here.
I still can't believe the cleaner was only a cleaner.
Eric's right, woman. There's no chance of getting that pixie to God's office.
Beware of Greeks bearing gifts, Albert.
It all seemed to make sense, didn't it? The disguise. The way he disappeared behind the love seat the way he did. And all this time, he was really only a cleaner?
Gifts-bearing Greeks. What are you going on about, woman? You're talking in riddles.
And not gifts-bearing Greeks, Greeks-bearing gifts. Oh, come on. Surely you remember. 1184 BC, Trojan War. Possibly your finest hour, Albert. It was a beautiful deceit.
Oh, yes, that. Yes, I suppose it was a master stroke on my part, but I was just a boy then, barely out of my apprenticeship. It was a long time ago. What has that got to do with this?
We use the same concept, only this time, front will be the Trojan horse, a gift to God from us.
Are you sure God will want a wooden horse, Penelope? Wouldn't he prefer an iPhone or something?
The horse is metaphorical, Jeffrey. It's an allegoric horse.
And you hide something inside a metaphorical horse. I mean, I have no idea how big a metaphorical horse is. Albert, have you ever seen a metaphorical horse? I mean, what size are we talking about here? A Shire, thoroughbred Clydesdale? He's a goblin, so we could potentially squeeze him into a Shetland or something, but anything smaller than that, I think we'll be struggling.
I think even a Shetland might be too big for God's office. There's not a lot of space in there.
Oh, look, the horse doesn't exist, okay? It's not real.
Okay, let me get this straight. We're going to sneak him into a non-existent horse into God's office. Tricky, because if the horse is non-existent, won't the little bastard get spotted pretty quickly?
Okay, look, forget the horse. There's no horse. I wish I would have never mentioned a horse. The non-existent horse has bolted from this conversation. It's in a non-existent field, playing with its non-existent horse friends, and it's not bothering anyone.
We haven't even formulated the plan and we've already lost the metaphorical non-existent horse?
Calm down, Eric. We still have the allegoric horse. How big is that one, Penelope? Big enough to get the pixie in?
The point is, we can get Bronk into the office and hidden away by making him some part of a gift to the old man. Just need to figure out what.
How about a footstool?
Or a plot.
Or an ornament for his mantelpiece. I think he collects yonder, doesn't he?
That gives me an idea. Come with me.
God. Penelope. No, of course I haven't forgotten. No, I'm on my way out to see you now. Yes, be there in 2. Ciao.
All right, the coast is clear. Right there, don't move. Just as we planned it. No mistakes. Where the hell's Eric? Moderation, Eric. Timing is everything. Now, places everyone, we move on Penelope's signal.
Ah, you're all here already. Excellent. Good morning, everyone. So, I know that this job swap pilot has caused you all some concern, and I do want to assure you that it is just a pilot at this stage, and like all pilots, subject to review, which is why we're here this morning. What the hell is that?
It's a statue, sir. A gift from us to you. A peace offering, if you will.
Pixie?
Goblet, sir. Eric picked it up in France.
Yadro?
Yes, sir. From Limoges. The detailing is quite exquisite, isn't it?
Yes, very lifelike. Don't know if it looks quite right here, though. Perhaps if I move it behind my face.
No, sir. Don't move it. It's very fragile, sir.
It doesn't feel like Yadro. Very soft and squidgy. Not like Yadro at all.
Sir, perhaps if we get on with the meeting, then I'm sure one of these strong fellows will help you to put the statue where you want it.
A good idea, yes. So, where were we?
We were talking about the job swap, sir.
Yes, yes. Now then, as I was saying, I know some of you are uncomfortable about this pilot project, and I understand that. But the fact remains, our business model is out of date. We need to think outside the circle.
Box, sir.
Box. We need to get a new perspective on the way we do things in order to maximize future opportunities for growth and achieve a homogeny of males.
Economy of scale.
Yeah, quite. That, people, means some quite challenging gray sky thinking.
Blue sky thinking, I think, sir.
Yes, well, we need to think about the color of the sky and how the sky can help us nurture our blue shoots development.
Green shoots, sir, and I'm not sure the color of the sky really much matters at this point.
That, people, means that together we should be able to create a virtuous oblong.
Circle.
A virtuous circular oblong thingy. Anyway, we are not going to be able to do that, Albert, by reinventing the flat tire. No, this ridiculous plague nonsense has got to stop. Do you hear?
What are you talking about? Ridiculous plague nonsense. I thought the whole point of this job swaps project was to bring a fresh outlook to the department, to be creative.
Creativity is one thing, Albert. Facetiousness is quite another. What was it this week? Sloths?
And what the hell's wrong with that?
We do not create plagues using sloths, Albert. We create plagues using locusts and mosquitoes and flies and other irritating winged insects. The things that buzz and vomit on stuff and then eat it. The sloths are not irritating, Albert. They do not even qualify as a mild nuisance. To be perfectly honest, I don't actually think that 14 slow-moving, narcoleptic mammals slowly inching their way around the Brinton bypass can actually be considered a plague.
If I may say something, sir.
No, Jeffrey, you may not. You're quite as bad. Would you care to explain the events of last Wednesday?
You mean the business with the Jeffersons, sir?
Yes, the business with the Jeffersons, Jeffrey. The people that you were supposed to collect, but didn't, because they wouldn't open their door.
I can hardly imagine that's my fault, sir. It was a no-code calling zone.
So, and correct me if I go wrong here, what you're telling me is that the all-encompassing power and divine strength that is at my disposal can be set at naught by a small sticker in the window and a band of over-enthusiastic neighborhood watch volunteers. The site is there for a reason, Jeffrey. And Penelope, I'm not at all sure I know where to start with you.
What do you mean?
Then I take it you don't agree with my view that in the context of history's bloodiest conflicts, having the Australian fashion industry go to war with the Aborigines because they look a bit disheveled was perhaps a tad extreme. And as for you, Eric...
Actually, that's where you're wrong, Arthur. It's not Eric.
Lucifer!
The very...
The very same!
I'm impressed. And as agreed, the promotion to head of the department is yours. She came to me yesterday to fill me in on this lot's plans. We agreed to let it all play out and get them all together.
Take them away, Peter. I'll deal with them later.
If I may explain, sir, we're innocent.
I think that's rather a case of shutting the barn door after the non-metaphorical, non-existent horses bolted. Wouldn't you, Jeffrey?
I think I owe you a debt of thanks, Penelope, but I have to ask, where on earth did you get the remote-controlled Yadro?
Return, sir. Graduate of Hobgoblin University, refugee from hell. You see, Franck, it's like I said. It really is possible for something to be completely hidden, even when it's in plain sight.
So what are we going to do with Lucifer, and why does he speak through a loudnailer?
And what on earth is he wearing on his feet?
Dolores?
Arthur?
Dolores!
Oh, Arthur!
Come on, Franck, I think it's time we made our excuses. Let me show you to your new office.
Oh, I have an office? Where?
Of course you have an office. You can't be the new plague without an office, can you? But I'll warn you now, it's very well hidden.
I haven't seen you in so long. How many years has it been?
Oh, 2014 years.
2014 years.
And 9 months.
2014 years and 9 months. That's a lot of water under the bridge. 2014 years and 9 months? You mean...
Yes, Arthur. You created him. He is you and you are him. 2 sides of the same coin. We must all learn to live with the sins of our past.
So, this entire play has been a parable, a representation of religious devotion cast in the sharp relief of cynicism, an allegory for the interchangeable nature of devotion, a literary suggestion that man created God in his image and not the other way around.
Well, it is a thought, isn't it? Probably bollocks, but a thought just the same.
God's office? No, I'm afraid God's not here. Hold on, let me check. In the finance meeting, according to the diary, back in time now, I imagine. Yes, I'll pass on a message. What's the number? Right, got that. Goodbye.
Hello, Peter.
Good morning. You look well.
I feel well, Peter. Very well, in fact, all things considered.
Yes, bad business, really.
Oh, I don't know about that. All's well that ends well, as they say.
Even so, hardly ideal.
No, it's true, but it is what it is. Time to move on. And the department's starting to feel a bit more normal already. Well, as normal as it can feel with Franck in charge of plagiary, but the new girls seem to be settling in okay.
Yes, of course. It'll be strange getting used to the 3-horse women and 1-horse man of the apocalypse, won't it? It'll take me some time to get used to that one, I imagine. Oh, dear. Listen to me. Anyone would think the end of the world had come. You must forgive me. No doubt I seem very much the old fart to you. Time for me to catch up to the 21st century. Eh?
Don't do yourself down, Peter. Change is difficult for everyone. The events of the past few months have proven that, haven't they? Albert, Eric, Jeffrey, that's what undid them in the end. Their inability to accept change. Fearing change isn't important, it's being able to embrace it that matters, and things are changing, aren't they?
Yes, they are. That's why I'm here. Actually, everything that's happened, the way everything has changed, well, it's made me think that maybe I should be part of the change as well. Perhaps I should hang up my wings and put my feet up. Introduce some new blood into the job. Gabriel's ready for it, you know. In fact, I'm ashamed to say he's been ready for quite some time. Just could not bring myself to let go, you see.
You're thinking of retiring?
Yes, I thought now might be the time, what with all the, changes. I can't help wonder if it wouldn't save a lot of awkwardness all around. I don't want to stay in the job just because of a misplaced sense of loyalty when it's clear that youth is the way forward. Heaven knows most of our recent problems have come about because of a bunch of dodgy old fools who had too much control over everything, myself included.
You can't go, Peter. Heaven needs you. It needs your experience, your knowledge. Gabriel's a nice fellow, but he's a bit brash, strutting around in his wings and everything. The three wise men have been avoiding him because every time he sees them, he reminds them that they would be nothing if he hadn't told them to follow the star.
Really?
Oh, yes. He is very proud of that, and he makes sure no one forgets it. His take is that no one would have showed up at the stable at all if it hadn't been for him. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is you know what people are like when they turn up at the door. Frightened, confused, and they need a bit of compassion and reassurance. That's what you bring, Peter.
You think I should stay?
Yes, Peter, I do. By the way, what's happening with Lucifer?
Oh, they're trying to work through the issues. He and Arthur have been spending a lot of time together. And Dolores, of course. Arthur was talking about redemption the other day.
That's nice. I'm glad they're getting on, but he'll have to go back, of course. I'd say redemption is out of the question.
That would be a shame, yes.
Yes, it would, Peter, but sadly that's the problem with good, isn't it? It needs evil in order to flourish and thrive. Without evil, there'd be no need for God, would there? And where would we be?
Seems strange, though, doesn't it? We spend all of our time working to make the earth sinless and joyful. But at the end of the day, it's not really what we want at all, is it?
Good Lord, no. Every time we get close to achieving an earthbound utopia, we smite it with war, famine, plague, and death, just to maintain the status quo. I wouldn't care to think about what would happen if we managed to achieve our aims. Good Lord, no. Whole world praying to God, not stealing, not philandering, not coveting, not killing. Bloody awful state of affairs that would be.
Indeed. Well, I must be going. You hanging on here?
Yes. You'll think about staying, won't you, Peter?
I'll think about it, yes. Oh, by the way, there was a message for you. I wrote it down on your pad. I don't think it was urgent. I never thought I'd see the day.
Neither did I, Peter. Neither did I. Hello, Paul? Yes, it's God speaking. Yes, good morning to you too. Listen, I want to make a change to the big book. Well, I know it's irregular, Paul, but it's just a small change. Yes, that's right. Well, it's about the commandments. Yes, the commandments. I want to change? Well, it's the toilet seats. I want them left down, not up. Yes, I'm quite sure. Thank you, Paul. Right.